Hi, I'm Donald Clark, and I've just finished a talk on peer learning, and I suppose to attempt to summarise that briefly. Why does peer learning really matter? Well, there are two things. First of all, the theoretical underpinning of this, and secondly, the empirical evidence, what's happening in the real world. The first thing is Judith Harris, perhaps the most important book in the psychology of learning in the last 20 years, and nobody's read it. But ask Steven Pinker and he'll tell you why it's the most important and revolutionary book. Because what it says is that peer groups matter. Parents don't matter much in terms of bringing their kids up, and you'll find that when you have a teenager. Peer groups matter. That's why kids smoke and take drugs, and why us telling them not to won't matter, because they don't listen to us. This is why teachers, lecturers and trainers actually, if you're not part of that peer group, often fail in getting real learning to take place. That's the theoretical underpinning. The nurture assumption, read it. Or Steven Pinker's book, The Blank Slate. The second thing is what has happened in the real world. 800 million people are on Facebook. 800 million people. Think of that number. What do they do on Facebook? They communicate with their peers. And when you ask young people what they do in terms of real, even structured formal learning on Facebook, they are actually asking each other when the assignments are meant to be in, getting help with questions, helping each other perform those rather dull chore-like homework tasks that teachers love to give on bits of crap photocopied paper. The kids are far smarter with regard to the use of this. So we have the theoretical underpinning, we have the practical stuff that's happening. What do we do about this? Well, it's now starting to happen. You have tools like Aropa, Peerwise, Peermark, a lot of it open source, cheap and easy, where you get learners to learn from each other. People like Eric Mazur, who teaches physics at Harvard, has been using this and seen a dogleg in attainment. Not only higher attendance at these lectures, but a brilliant move forward in terms of the teaching of physics. Not easy to learn, not easy to teach. We've had papers in Science, a well-respected journal, comparing the traditional teaching methods or training methods with peer group instruction. Again, 41% on tests versus 74%. Massive differential in terms of attainment and attendance and engagement. So, think again. I mean, I'm not actually a wholly an evangelist for social media and organizations, because there are problems. There are problems with social media and people wasting time, but you'd be a fool to ignore it. And now is the time to look at the tools themselves, rather than HR banning this stuff and very often paying top dollar licenses for new collaborative tools from American software companies. Perhaps we should go to where the learners are. The mountain should go to Mohammed and say, well, where are all your learners? Hey, presto, they're on Facebook. They were on email. The younger ones are now on Facebook. Why don't we look at that as being a source of our inspiration, especially around the already proven efficacy of peer learning?